All right, welcome back, everybody. With the Dow down about 40 points, Sprint and T-Mobile have announced an agreement to extend the deadline for their proposed roughly $26 billion merger deal. At first, this looked like a good possibility. Now it's anyone's guess. A jump ball here. Charlie Gasparino is at the Milken Institute conference going on in California. Charlie, what are you hearing?
I mean, I guess you could say this is a semi-positive for the deal, not necessarily for Sprint. I ran into the DOJ Antitrust Chief, Makan Delrahim. He said a new issue has essentially emerged in the review of the merger that maybe could put this in a positive light. Listen to what he had to say.
So the big concern from an antitrust standpoint, obviously, 30,000 feet is going from 4 major wireless carriers to 3. That the combined Sprint and T-Mobile eliminates, obviously, a carrier and competition. So let me just ask you this. I've been reading up on Sprint's financials lately. You might get just 3 carriers anyway if they don't merge. Are you concerned about that Sprint might not be healthy enough to survive, and therefore, that is a factor in this merger?
Well, of course, the number of carriers and the competition that, any potential merger will lead to is a factor that we consider. Whether or not a company is failing or will go out of business is a factor, and there's laws about that. It's called the failing firm defense in antitrust. And there's, Energy Solutions was a recently litigated case where there was some pronouncements of what the standards are that we look at, and that's something, if the parties raise that, we would consider.
Have they raised it?
Well, they have discussed, I think in public, talking about somehow flailing company, and it's a factor that we consider, and whether or not it meets the standards, the legal standards that we have to consider is a different story.
How high up is Sprint's financial situation on your consideration list?
Well, it certainly is part of the review.
Well, there you have it, Neil. I mean, Makan Delrahim, the antitrust chief, in reviewing this deal, saying he is looking at whether, if this deal doesn't go through, Sprint might go out of business. And I'm telling you, that is one of the major defenses that Sprint and AT&T are saying to the Justice Department's Antitrust Division, to the staff, some of whom are pretty skeptical. What they're saying essentially is this: you're worried that there'll be one less carrier if we merge in wireless. Okay, got that. You're going to get one less carrier anyway because of Sprint's precarious financial position if this thing doesn't happen. And according to Delrahim, that is something they're considering. Now, if you're looking to game plan this, it's on his radar screen. You got to say this argument is a net positive for the deal going through. Not saying it is going through, but it's definitely a net positive, and you heard it here first. Neil, back to you.
All right, Charlie, thank you very much. Twirling away in Beverly Hills, California.